Hello, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. My name is Reverend Nikki Brown, and I am the host and founder of Ignite Women's Empowerment Summit. And today marks the beginning of our what I call the Ignite season. This is where we really start gearing up, getting women, our community ready for Ignite Women's Empowerment Summit. And we have something that we're calling the Speakers Room, as well as the Sponsors Corner. And so, over the next several weeks, I'm going to be bringing my guests to this stage to share about their business, their ministry, the service, the assignment that God has put on the inside of them. And I would love for you to join me over the next 4 to 5 to 6 weeks. And so, we're excited. I'm going to take a pause. For those that may just be joining us, please let us know how and where you are watching us from, what state, what city. And throughout the broadcast, we will post that information. I want to give a couple of great announcements that we have. Ignite Women's Empowerment Summit is happening. It's coming up. I cannot believe that it's already almost 2 months away. We are going to be at the Baltimore Convention Center October the 30th through November the 1st. Oh, it is going to be such a time that I believe we're going to have. Our theme this year is expectancy. If God has anything on the inside of you, or you believe that you have been pregnant for a long time, I need you to get into this building. As you can see on the screen, we have some powerhouse speakers that are going to be there. Marissa Farrow, Yolanda Stith, Aziza Morrison, and over 23 workshop speakers, teachers, coaches, leaders, authors, preachers who are coming to help shift what you have been expecting from God into a season of manifestation. And so what I love about Ignite, what I love about the vision God gave me is I love seeing the fact that we are merging and blending inspiration, right, with implementation. And so, yes, we're going to preach you up, get you all excited, have you running all over the place. But then in our workshops, we're going to give you tools and strategies and ideas and know-how to take what you have been inspired to do and actually put it into action. And so all of our workshop speakers and leaders are coming with business ideas, professional ideas. We're going to be empowering you in your finances. We have one woman who's coming, who's going to be talking about her invention and how that if God has given you some type of idea, how to get that idea patent. But tonight, I'm excited because Ignite could not happen because of our partners and sponsors. And we have women who have come alongside of the vision of Ignite and just said, I want to see this organization fly. But not only that, I want to make room for my sister. And so tonight we have one of my sponsors who's going to be coming. And I'm really super excited about her. I want to share a little bit about her background. Her name is Amanda Duron, and she serves with the Family Legacy Missions International, where she is passionate about championing vulnerable children in Zambia. We had the awesome opportunity to meet Amanda several years ago and partner with Family Legacy. We have adopted a young girl over there in Africa, and we're been given the opportunity to help send her to school. And it is just an amazing feeling to be able to give back. And so Amanda has been working missions. She's been on the mission field. She has truly been working with the next generation. And she's come alongside of Ignite to sponsor what it is that we're doing. And I want to give this platform to her so that she can share her mission, her vision, what she's doing, and how you can get involved. So many of us, so many times we want to get involved and do more on the mission field. And sometimes we just don't know where to start. So I want you to listen up. I want you to pay attention to what she's saying. And if God is putting it on your heart to become a part of the missions work, I want you to get involved. Okay. So without further ado, Come on to the stage, Amanda.
Hi.
Hello, Amanda. I'm so glad and grateful that you're going to be with us tonight, sharing your heart. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me here. It feels like always a privilege to spend time with the women of Ignite, even in
Yes,
a digital platform. So
yes,
thanks for having me.
awesome.
My name is Amanda. I work for, like you mentioned, an organization called Family Legacy, and we do work predominantly in Lusaka, Zambia. Our headquarters here in the United States is in Dallas, Texas. So that's where I'll spend most of my time, though I get to spend a good chunk of the summer over in Lusaka, which is really sweet.
Mm, mm,
And I'm the VP of Brand and Communications, which means I get to lead two teams. One team is the creative team, getting to do things on social media like this and telling the story. And the other team is the engagement team, where we get to go out and invite people to join in to the story,
mm-hmm.
like we get to do with Ignite. And that's one of my favorite things to get to do. So make relationships, build new friends. So
Yes, awesome. You are so passionate. I don't think I've ever met. I have some friends who work in the mission field, but your passion, your ability to tap into the heart of God. You flew into North Carolina and we ate breakfast for 25 hours.
we shut it down. We shut breakfast down. It's so fun.
We sat at that table. We closed the whole restaurant down. I was your passion, your excitement about working in the mission field and following the leading of God's Spirit was so infectious. I had to stay apart. Talk about how that came about for you. How did you get started doing missions work?
Yeah, what a great invitation the Lord
Yeah.
presented me. My background is in marketing, so I started out in marketing, and I focused a lot of my efforts on events and event marketing, and had a lot of fun doing that, and transitioned out of that into retail marketing, and then decided I hated it. I didn't want to do marketing. I didn't want to sell people widgets. I didn't want to encourage them to buy something that wasn't going to satisfy their soul.
Yeah.
And the Lord just invited me to go on an adventure with him. And so out of that, I put my house up for sale. I sold everything that I owned. And
Wow.
I went to serve, do marketing with YWAM. And in the course of that, the Lord and I had a lot of conversations about what it looked like to use my skill for the kingdom. And so out of that came the opportunity to work and do marketing related things for nonprofits, specifically in the sphere of child development. And it was just an invitation from the Lord to use the skills he gave me for the kingdom. I struggled a lot because I didn't think that, they don't hire marketing directors at churches. That's the work of the Holy Spirit. So I didn't really know where I fit. And just through that invitation to go on an adventure with him, I found where I could use my skill sets just to build the kingdom. So
wow. And it takes a measure of faith. You kind of did this whole New Testament disciple, the apostle kind of when they were grabbing up and building the new church and people were selling their stuff for the church and just giving everything away and going into the mission field. Like you kind of went old school with that a little bit, and it just is truly extraordinary because I can only imagine the level of faith you had to step into to sell your home, let go of everything, and say, I'm going on this adventure and I don't even know how it's going to turn out.
Yeah, you can always look back. I can look back on all of the moments I've had to operate in that kind of faith. And even looking back, I'm like, oh, that was a little crazy. But there is an anointing for it in the season. Yes. And that's what I have to remember. That the Lord will anoint you for the faith you need to walk out what he's calling you to do. So
he will. He absolutely will. I laugh and joke with friends and I tell them if I ever stop to think about what I'm doing at Ignite and how much money we sometimes don't have, I would jump off a bridge. And so you just kind of you just do it. You don't think
Mhm.
about it a lot. You try not to, get too invested in the details. You just try to be obedient and follow God, right? And so I often tell people don't get too bogged down in thinking through all the details. First of all, God's not going to give you the details. That's number one at all. And then number two, he manifests when you move. So that is always my thing. Soon as you move, I will manifest the next step for you.
Mhm.
So that's amazing. Talk about family legacy. Talk to us about what it's like. You get on a plane, you land in Zambia. What exactly is happening over there? On that mission field. What is it like working with these children in these villages? Talk to us. Paint us a picture. Make it feel like we are there.
Yeah. So, well, first, Zambia is on the eastern side. It is a country landlocked. It's got about, I think, 7 neighbors around it, 7 different countries in Africa. But in the 90s, it was a victim of the AIDS epidemic. And so you have a whole generation of people just completely wiped out.
Wow.
It is a country of children. The average age in Zambia is about 17. And just to contrast that, the average age here in the US is 39. So a lot of children. When we bring older people over and they have white or balding heads, it's really a sweet thing because it's a novelty to the kids to see who are older come over there, because it's just not common for them. So we work specifically, Family Legacy works in Lusaka, Zambia, which is the capital city. So it's an urban environment. And there's a lot of challenges that come with an urban environment versus a rural environment. But most of these kids are in what we would call compounds, or very low income areas. And as a result of that, education is now free in Zambia, but it's not really free, right? There's fees to getting involved in school. And but a lot of these kids come out of homes where their native language is one of the tribal languages. There's about 72 in Zambia. And but the national language in Zambia is actually English. So if these kids can't go to school, and if they don't have the opportunity to learn, then they're going to stay in a cycle of poverty, because you would never be able to open a bank account or have any kind of legal documents. And so that's how kind of Family Legacy was born. Was we recognized there was a lot of kids and a real need for education. Like I said, education only has become free in the last couple of years. Normally, you would have to pay to go to school. But we've been around for about 25 years, working in that area. And so we have 18 schools in and around the area where kids are screened and with extreme vulnerabilities can go.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So while they're there and while they're at school, we actually have the opportunity to care for them holistically. So we not only educate those kids, but we're caring for their bodies, we're caring for their little souls and the trauma that they've experienced, and we're getting to share Jesus with them. So it's very holistic to be able to get to spend that kind of quality time with these children. So
it's awesome. So tell us the work that's happening at Family Legacy. What are they actually doing while they're there? What is the crux of their work?
Yeah, so we would call ourselves a redemptive child development organization. So one of the things that my boss says is that we're like a ministry of shalom, right? And shalom is peace, but it's also peace that is like wholeness. Right? So we're bringing that wholeness back to a child that is very much created in the image of God, right? They have all of the dignity, all of the purpose, all of the potential. They just were born into resources that were limiting to them. And so we have the privilege of, like I said, operating 18 schools. We have about 700 staff, local Zambian staff on the ground.
Ooh, awesome.
Teachers and social services workers and medical and discipleship coordinators, all of those staff are pouring into about the a little over 10,000 kids that we have in the program. So, and then we also have a full-time residential care facility, which is for the ultra vulnerable kids who don't have, who might need a place to go, whether because they're orphaned or they have extreme medical issues or there's cases of abuse or neglect. Have a residential facility, and there's about 400 or so children that are there for varying reasons. And we hope to always transition them back home because that is their tribe, right? It is best for kids to be reunited with family members, but in some instances that's not possible. And so we get the opportunity to care for them and love on them in a full-time residential care facility.
Awesome. What kind of impact are you starting to see? You know, I know you in the schools, and what are you starting to see that Family Legacy is really just starting to make that dent and that legacy there?
Yeah. Well, we just actually had our first female doctor graduate from medical school. I know. We were super proud of her. If you scroll back through any of our socials, you'll see her story. We're super proud of her. But there's 10,000 plus children in our organization. There's 10,000 plus stories, right? Like that.
Tell us about one that, you know, when we as service providers, as clinicians, I used to work social work years ago, as well as doing therapy. I was a therapist in always call it my former life. And there are cases that I just are seared into my spirit, seared into my brain because of life challenges, but also being able to see the hurdles they've overcome that you just never forget. Tell us of one that just still lights your soul on fire.
Yeah. Well, the most recent sweet little guy, I say he's little, but he's probably 17 years old. His name is Gabriel. And Gabriel actually was a child that came into our program as a little boy, was sponsored through a program that we call Camp Life. And that's our intake that we do every summer, where we invite Americans over to do a week of camp. And through that process, he got picked up and sponsored, which is really sweet, by a family out of Houston. And the following year they came back and they didn't see him. They were like, well, where is he? And come to find out, Gabriel had been pretty brutally mugged by a group of boys in his neighborhood. And he was hiding, but he was also severely injured. And as a result of that injury, it looked like Gabriel might have to lose one of his legs. But we were able to find Gabriel and bring him in for medical care. And through the work of our medical team, they were able to provide him with the care he needed to restore his leg. But he was still walking around with a limp. And they thought he might always have a limp because he was hip replaced, and they don't do that kind of care in Zambia. And we had found where he could maybe get a pro bono surgery here in the United States, but it fell through. And so the doctor had to tell Gabriel, like, I'm so sorry, but God has still got a sweet plan for you. And the following day, they had a conversation with a set of donors that were on a board in a hospital in Houston. And within a couple of weeks, we're able to get him a surgery, a visa, and open up their home for him to stay in for recovery. We actually had people that were there that could escort him on that long flight back here. And so he was able to come to the United States and get a hip replacement surgery. And he's back in Zambia, being a little testimony to all of his friends and peers. But that just to me speaks to not only the holistic care of the organization of Family Legacy, but also his sponsors
Yeah.
came alongside and said,
Wow.
where is he? The organization like has spent years doing medical interventions with him.
Hmm.
We had a set of really sweet donors that made it possible for him to come and get a surgery that he desperately needed,
Wow.
so he could walk without pain, and just how everybody came around this
Hmm.
one, right? Such a picture of what Jesus does. Like he
Yes. Yes.
goes after the one, right? And
Yes.
so just believing great things for Gabriel
Yes.
and his story, but he's one of, like I said, 10,000 plus kids that we get to the privilege of interacting with
Wow.
and coming alongside.
What an amazing testimony. And, you know, when you're here in America or in your neighborhood, in your community, God lives here. But it's something when you cross over the seas and you see the presence of God, you see his favor, you see his mercy and his grace working through us, because that's what it is. That's the greatest commandment, right? Go into all the earth, right?
Right.
And baptizing all nations. And so, you know, it's just amazing. I love the work that Family Legacy is doing. I'm excited. I'm so grateful for partnering. I get those letters from our little girl. I can't wait till we're able to meet her. I am praying that one day we're able to take a team. It almost happened this summer. It almost happened. I was trying to think, I was talking to a couple of my ladies, because I definitely, when I come, I want to bring a small team with us to Zambia during the summer. And it's just a prayer of mine, and just a desire and a passion to do missions work. And so I'm grateful that we were able to partner with Family Legacy to be able to adopt a young girl and watch her go to school. And I'm getting the testimonies and all of that. How can women get involved in Family Legacy?
Yeah. So the best, I mean, the easiest thing to do is to pray, right? Like, and it is so impactful for our organization. We are up against some really hard things every day, right? You've got kids who are coming out of poverty and really having to adjust to the structure of school. And so praying for our teachers, praying for our school, praying wisdom over our leadership is always so incredibly helpful. We love hearing when people are praying for us. But the other thing is to get involved, to put your heart over the fence and to sponsor a kid. You know, you can always go, oh, it's so big. I don't know what to do. I don't know how I can do it. I want to say yes. The Lord is stirring something in me to say yes. What do I don't know how to do anything. Right. And we make it really easy. Sponsoring a kid is how you invest in a kid. It's how you invest in a kingdom. It's how you can knit your heart to a child that the Lord loves and sees.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's a small step in, like, this is how I started in missions even, right? Like, I sponsored a kid long before I even attempted to go overseas.
Wow.
Because I wanted, you know, there's that verse of where your treasure is, your heart will be. And so I'm going to put my money where I want my treasure to be, right? Where I want my heart to follow. Right. And so that's where I started. Sponsorship is $55 a month, and it goes towards caring for a kid 5 days a week. Providing all of the things, right? It's paying the teacher's salary. It's making sure they get a meal. It's going and contributing towards the medical that they might need. And even the counseling. We provide counseling for kids who are coming out of trauma. Poverty is one trauma marker, but it's oftentimes not the only one, right?
Correct. Right.
And so we want to make sure that they're not, you know, there's that poverty. You can have poverty of material, but then you can also have poverty of your heart, right? And poverty of spirit. Yeah. So we want to make sure that they know the Lord and they can have the tools that they need to be productive members of their society, right? And so sponsorship is a great way to do that. And it's an easy way to get involved. And then, of course, we would love for everybody to come over and meet your kids,
Yes.
the kids that you're investing in. I got to see your kiddo.
I know.
And give her a big hug from you.
I know. She's so beautiful.
She
She's so
is.
pretty. I'm going to have to show that video at Ignite. So
She
definitely,
is,
I was like, oh, I'm probably glad I wasn't there. She'd have been in my suitcase.
She is the sweetest girl.
She is. You can tell.
Her name is Jemima, and
Jemima.
she has green eyes.
I saw. I know. Well, I saw her picture before we, and I prayed when I was scrolling through all the kids, and I'm like, this is why I'm not a social worker anymore.
Because how do you choose? Right?
This is why I can't do this work anymore. Because I was like, all of them, Lord. The Lord had to pull me out of social work because I was bringing all the kids home. Like there's all these kids. So, but I prayed and I rested on her and I said, our community is going to support this young lady. She's so beautiful. So I'm so grateful you took that video and sent it to me. I truly am believing God to get over there.
Yeah, I believe it too.
Yeah.
I'll come in agreement with that.
Yes. So if you are watching, you're listening, you may come back and watch the broadcast later, and you want to sponsor a child to go to school. They have to pay to go to school. It's a concept that we're not familiar with here because education in America, public schooling is free. But to be able to get the services that they need, right? And so if missions is in your heart, if it's something that you have always felt akin to, but just didn't know how to get involved, go to www.familylegacy.com. I believe when you get on the site, it shows you exactly how to sponsor a child. Click on it. You'll get a pop-up of children. Try not to grab every single one of them because then you ain't gonna have no money left and you be mad at God. Don't do all that. But if the Lord puts it on your heart, as many as God has led you to, we would love for you to donate. What you are going to be at Ignite. You are going to be at Ignite. Amanda's going to be with us at Ignite. She's going to be sharing her heart again on the main stage. If you miss it this time, if you're coming to the conference, you will be able to meet Amanda. She always comes with all her pictures of all the kids and what they're doing and stories and things like that. So if you're coming to Ignite, you can also sponsor a child at Ignite. But if you just can't wait, please go to www.familylegacy.com and sponsor a child. Is there anything else that you kind of want to share, that you want to leave, that people, information or resources that people can take away with them?
Yeah, I mean, we would always love to have you guys follow along on our social media handles. If you're like, I don't really know about this organization yet, we're constantly telling stories over there and would love for you to just join along. And then when you do come to Ignite, because I'm believing you all to come to Ignite, it's one of my favorite conferences that I get to go to every year.
You say that to all the girls.
No, ma'am, I do not. And you know what it is? It's because the women of Ignite come by and they say, hi, Amanda, because for some reason they know me. And I love that. It feels like such an intimate environment. It feels like such a
you're about to be on the team. They don't even know you're about to.
I love it. I love what you guys are doing. I told you, and I'm already booking my plane ticket to come in and help volunteer. I'm like, put me on trash. I don't care how. I just want to serve this incredible conference. So come by, say hello if you're coming. I would love to see you. And then feel free to just reach out. I'm Amanda at familylegacy.com. If you have questions or if you want to potentially get more information about the ministry, I would love to share. So
how can they find you on Instagram? And Danielle will put that up there for us. What's your handle on Instagram?
Yeah, so Family Legacy's handles are all Family Legacy. So Family Legacy on Instagram, Family Legacy on Facebook, Family Legacy on TikTok too. So if you want to do TikTok, that's fun. We're trying to grow it. So stay tuned.
Follow.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow.
Yeah. For me, I you can find me, like I said, at Amanda at familylegacy.com. It's pretty easy. And I would love to share more.
Awesome. Well, listen, thank you, Amanda. This is brief, but it's powerful. And again, those that are called to missions work, those that are called to help beyond their environment, their community. They're already working. A lot of the women are already doing things in their community, and they're looking for more. I'm believing and praying that God continues to bring a harvest of support. Listen, those that are watching us, Ignite Women's Empowerment, this is the beginning of our speaker sponsor series for the next 4 to 5, 6 weeks. I am going to be bringing some amazing women who, some that I'm just meeting, others that are like my sister friend, but all of them are coming, sharing purpose, sharing intentional ideas and wisdom to help you shift into the season of expectancy. Listen, ticket sales are going on right now at www.ignitesummit.org. You want to be in the building October 30th through November the 1st. We are going to be at the Baltimore Convention Center, and we have amazing workshop speakers. We have amazing keynote speakers, and our singers. Those of you who love JP and Stephanie Heath, listen, they get us every time. They get the atmosphere going literally right from the jump. And we just have so many other guest things that are happening, and I would love for you to be a part. So thank you for joining us tonight in our speakers room, in our sponsors room, and I will see you again next week right here at Ignite. Talk to you soon. God bless you.